we go. We are live.
Ooh. Hello.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. Today I've got Scuba Pete over here and Dave from Vintage Toy Rush. Awesome. And extend out I'm going to retweet this real quick here.
Thanks for having us on, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, how are you guys doing?
Good.
Doing very well. Yeah.
The end of another work day.
End of another work day.
UK is opening up now, slowly.
Yeah.
We're getting there. Had snow this morning when I woke up.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah. That was a surprise.
Now, are toy shops you can go in, like with a certain amount?
Yeah. Toy shops have opened up in the UK. So I've seen Joe live today from Leicester Vintage.
Awesome.
Oh wow, cool.
Super pleased to be open. Yeah. Seen people on Facebook visiting their favorite vintage toy shops. So yeah,
all that's fantastic.
Tim, how you doing, Tim?
Hey, Tim.
Hayes is here. There we go.
Hi, Tim.
See, they'll start trickling in. So what I want to do is I want to kick off today with vintage toys. I like talking about stuff that we've had since our childhood. And I think what we might start with is, what do you have? What was some of the first, were you both into Star Wars first, or was there other lines that you guys got into before when you were kids? Dave?
I'm trying to remember way back the first things that I played with. I would say that my fondest memories, I think, are probably with Lego. Actually, I remember playing with old Lego sets from back in the day. Action Man. I remember having a fairly large collection of Action Man. I loved playing with those and the vehicles as well. But I think going back even further than that, I'm pretty sure I must have had some Fisher-Price. I remember, I'm sure it was Fisher-Price. I remember this plane. It was like a passenger plane, and you could lift the lid off the top.
Oh, yeah.
And there were some figures or some very, very vague memories of that. I must have been really young at that point. But I think my dad was quite sort of ahead of his time, because I remember one Christmas when I was pretty young, at my nan's. We were at my nan's for Christmas, and opened a present, and he got me an electronic game. It was the Invader 1000. It's like a prehistoric early video game. I've got it down there in the corner. I might have to get it out soon.
It sounds cool.
Yeah. So the Invader 1000 was also one of my earliest memories, because it was, at the time, to me, it just seemed astounding that it had a little joystick on this thing. The actual case looks like a spaceship. I've got to get it in a minute. It makes horrible sound effects. So my dad probably regretted actually buying it after a few hours. But so I would say I remember those before Star Wars, actually, to be honest.
And were you doing anything like the Action Man stuff before Star Wars, or was those kind of parallel?
I think they're probably parallel. I think Action Man was maybe a little ahead of Star Wars, to be honest. I do remember when I was much, much younger, one of the houses that we lived at, I just have fond memories of Action Man. So yeah, that was God knows what age I was then, but pretty young. But I always remember having the figures and some of the vehicles, and I knew I was into Action Man at the time, because I remember there was a competition once. I've tried to hunt this competition down, but I can't find it anywhere. But there was a competition where you could, as a prize, you had like 1,000 points that you could essentially spend on any Action Man items you wanted if you won the prize. And you got this sheet of paper, and you would tick off basically all the things you wanted if you won. But as long as it didn't go over 1,000 points, basically. And I remember spending days and days agonizing over
what to check.
What is it I wanted? It's like, do I want that vehicle, or do I swap that out and take this guy and this guy? I spent days, so I knew I was heavily into Action Man back then. I love that stuff.
What's up, Mark?
Mark's here.
Yeah. Hey, Mark.
We got
Miss June.
Look at this. Yeah.
Hey, DCB.
Jeff Barker's here. Just popping in to say hi. Pete's the man.
No, Jeff is the man.
Love that Cobra symbol, Jeff. So, Scuba Pete, what do you answer to that question?
My earliest, I'd have to go with like Weebles. I had the Weeble Ranch, and the Treehouse, which I just found the Treehouse maybe 5-6 months ago. I found the Treehouse.
Oh yeah, I love that. Cool. We had that Treehouse ourselves as a kid, and I have fond memories of that. And we must have had also a Mickey Mouse one, because the only Weeble Wobble that I have to this day from when we were kids is a Billy with the Mickey Mouse ears.
Oh, cool!
He's right in that cabinet there, dude, behind me.
That passed me by. I never had any of those Weebles. Never had them.
I had a younger brother, and much probably to our parents' chagrin, we were total morons, and we would take the Weeble in our mouth and like shoot it at the other, like bonk. Yeah. What choking hazard?
Yes, what choking hazard? Yeah. Oh, boy.
And then I would go Fisher Price. The little guys had the plane that you had, Dave, and the parking garage, where you'd take the car up the lift, and then the bell ding, and then they'd go down the ramp.
Oh, that's right. The ding, it would ding. It would go down that little. Yeah.
I saw that a couple weeks ago at the toy mall, and I was like, ooh, and they only wanted, I don't know, $30-$40 for it, and I'm like, just that's funny. It's actually pretty sizable. And then Adventure People before Star Wars. That was the big. I mean, I would beg for a bath so I could take my scuba Adventure People and the submarine and the octopus. I've still got the octopus and the helicopter from it, and I just got a sub from up in Indianapolis a couple months back to kind of get that back.
DTM, how you doing?
DTM. Cy.
Yes, Cy's here. Adam's in the house.
Hey, Adam.
Scuba Dave. Tim. I think I had the Winnie the Pooh house, the circus, fishing boat, tree house, Weeble Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Yeah.
Nice.
He had a lot too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we worked that tree house into, like that still hung around for Star Wars.
Well, that exact treehouse was turned into the Ewok Village for the little play school Ewok Village people one.
Oh,
it's the same. Because the top popped up like that. Oops, I'm popping up my mic.
Yeah, we had that at preschool. The little people treehouse.
Yeah, that garage. That was the one that had the sort of spiral ramp that went down, and then the elevator or lift, whatever you want to call it. That was. Yeah, I remember. I think I remember that.
Hit the top and the bell ding, and then it'd launch. Lift the ramp.
Chris is here from Thousandth Ghost.
Hey, Chris.
So the gang's all here. The gang's all here. Yeah, then I've still got the like my favorite Adventure People. This is gonna like kill me, right? I'll grab what's close by. But I used to love these see-through ones. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
The space.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I guess these were kind of the alien ones, right? Or the cyborg or whatever. I don't know what they were supposed to be, but I have the girl. When we were kids, I had the girl and the guy, and I've got the girl, but I haven't been able to get the guy. I see him every once in a while, but his paint's all rubbed off, or his head's messed up, or something. So I don't pull the trigger because I'm waiting to find a decent one. Because she's not bad, her paint's pretty good,
Oh yeah.
And so I want to get. Whenever I see the guy, he's like super played with and all worn away. And
yeah, it's just green.
Yeah. But I've got the alien in the black spacesuit up there, and then a bunch of the space guys with the Alpha Star. What was that? Alpha Star, right, or something?
I think that was the name of the shuttle. Yeah, it had the little sound
something
effect.
like that.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Joe at Leicester Vintage, he's got an amazing shop display for the adventure people with all the carded figures in there.
Oh
It
wow.
looks awesome. It looks awesome. It's one of those things I guess he won't sell.
It's pretty hard to get one on the card. I mean, I've been looking at them, and every card is ripped or destroyed some way. To get a really nice card on Adventure People seems to be difficult.
Yeah.
I just see them
We
lose.
need Star Wars Weebles.
It's a good idea, Paul.
If they brought back Weebles,
they would,
I'm sure they would. Yeah.
Imagine that, an R2D2 Weeble would be quite cool.
Oh, that would be excellent.
Smuggler's Canyon. Hey, how you
Hey,
doing?
Smuggler.
John, Dave, I bagged Rambo's knife.
Oh yes, awesome. Awesome.
He's falling down the G.I. Joe rabbit hole. Oh yes, come on down. It's comfy.
Oh dear.
Tim had that lady, the robot
green
Clea
goddess.
lady. Scuba diver, I'm obsessed now. Yeah, they're good
Nice.
action figures. They're really cool. If you like 5POA, I mean,
They
they're
were
really, really cool. Yeah.
ruggedly built. We took them everywhere. I mean, as little kids, they were always in your pocket, and I think I took a few to school.
It came with me to the dentist and everything. I used to remember.
Yeah, all those blue lights. No,
Yeah, you're in Tron.
Yeah, this scheme here is in honor of Pete, of course. I'm in the fish tank. Oh, hang on, what's going on here? What's going on here?
Nice.
Look at that!
It's Scuba's long lost cousin from the UK. It's Scuba George.
Action Force. It's like
cool.
moth to a flame. It's so beautiful.
He's never opened.
Dear.
Well, John had me for the Secret Santa, and he got me the carded SAS diver, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" I mean, I opened that and I about peed my pants. I was howling.
So you didn't already have one then, huh?
No,
I was just taking a long shot.
I had them loose, but I didn't have it carded, and even my loose one, obviously the paint's a little rubbed and all that.
Yeah.
I opened that and I was just like, "Oh!" And Leslie comes running. What's wrong? What's wrong? And I'm like, "Look!"
I had to go with the theme,
Yeah, it took me hours to open my Secret Santa from Salacious.
Yeah, Salacious did yours as like a 18
you did me a good one there.
Oh, it's so good.
I don't know if he knew that I hated spiders. I have no idea how he knew that. There's some background information that concerned
There may have
about.
been an insider.
Yeah. Oh, it could have been an insider. That's true. DCB June, I'm going to have a word with you later.
There you go. Yeah, Salacious and I have been playing Red Dead Redemption, and he's concerned because he sees me riding around Red Dead, rampaging the towns and the neighborhood, killing all these random people, hiding them behind bushes, throwing them off of waterfalls, so I don't get caught by the law.
Right.
So he's like, I'm a little concerned over.
I have in that game, John. I'm slightly concerned about your horse riding skills and abilities.
Yeah. You should have seen. I actually saved an accident that I had today because it was like the horse fell down a canyon and somehow shot my guy. And my guy flew, I swear, my guy flew 20 or 30 feet in the air. He was like, I didn't know your character could go this high. He just like flew. And he was so high up that when he came down, he took damage. He was like, it came up red like he was getting hurt. I'm like, oh my gosh.
The red closing in.
Yeah. I was like,
brilliant.
I've never seen a horse throw someone that high up in the air. And
with DCB June and I were watching your horse video the other day. Oh, it's so funny. I so want Tez to put the Mario sound effects on top of that video. It would just be so funny.
Yeah.
Bloop.
Yes, we're watching him. Hey
Brandon.
How you doing, Brandon? Bunch of hellos to everybody. Let's see where we are with these comments. Left Cross Graphics is here.
Howdy.
Everyone's still saying hello. Hello, AE, Afworld Adam, Brandon. Never owned any Tron, I mean. Yeah. Tron is a difficult one. To get the original Tron figures, even loose, just seems difficult.
Oh, I love Tron. I love Tron. Oh, here we go. Let's go and grab.
You've got them with their light discs, don't you?
Yeah, some of them, not all of them though, unfortunately, but they are hard to find. These are within reach. Okay, so we've got I can never remember all the names now. There's Tron.
Yep.
Oh
man, he looks beautiful.
Yeah.
See, that's the problem. I find him with all that paint rubbed off, and it's like that's why I'm saying from my perspective, it's difficult to find him in that kind of condition that you'd want to have them, because and they're clear. I love those clear figures,
Yeah, something so appealing.
Yeah. Oh, look at the blue.
It's Flynn, isn't it?
Flynn.
I can never remember the name. Yeah, the blue. I got these about 4 or 5 years ago. I had a look the other day, and the prices of these things have shot up. And they're harder
the bad
to find
guy,
well.
right? Yeah, that's the bad guy. And that's all they did with the 3, right?
No, there's another one.
There's a 4th one?
Yeah, they did the guard.
The guard.
Oh, that's right. Yes, the guard guy. Yes, that's right.
I have him in the Creature Cantina up there.
Awesome.
Oh, he looks mint. He looks really good. And then they did a cycle, right? Didn't they have a cycle?
There we go. There's a cycle.
Oh, that's so cool.
Which opens up, of course, and then the figures are supposed to sit inside, but it's actually tough to fit them in.
Do you sit them down, or do they lay down or something?
They kind of lay down in there, but you have to fiddle really to push them in. But they open up, and then they have a oh, hang on, I got it down here.
Were there just 2 different colors, yellow and red, or were there other?
Well, these were Tomy. So these are one of these back in early 80s from Tomy. So they did a yellow and a red cycle.
Red, okay.
Yep. But then NECA re-released the same figures and light cycles. Can't remember when, probably 2000s. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But there's a blue light cycle that they released.
Gotcha.
And I can't remember now where you put this in. Where did I put this? I think it's around the back wheel somewhere.
Oh, and it zips. It's like a ring. Yeah.
Nice.
Is it around here? I can never remember where it goes. Let's see if I can get this to work. Oh, yeah, we go. That's it. Yeah. So you pull that in there, and then you just give it a gig. Whoa. And there we go.
Wow.
Whoa.
Mark always wanted a light cycle. Hopefully not. Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. Tron. These are. I don't know why they're so hard to find now. They're just 4 or 5 years ago, you could find these on eBay for a pretty good price, and I'd always find them in the US. I can't remember if they were released in the UK, but now, just much harder to find and much more expensive. So
I'm gonna have to check those out. I'm a sucker for translucent figures. I just like the way they look. Yeah.
I wish they'd done more than just the light cycle though. I wish they'd done the tank.
Yeah.
And
right.
The recognizer. The recognizer thing. The flying ship thing.
Yes.
That would have been awesome.
Yes.
Hey TK, how you doing?
Hello.
Dave, you tinker. You're killing me.
Tinker.
So Scuba, let's start with you on this one. What is one of your... All right, I think we all know what the largest toy you have. Let's go with the biggest things we got in our collections. So Scuba, let's say other than the USS Flag...
I don't know what you're talking about.
Look at that monster. Wow. The thing is, we all know how big that jet is, and you can fit a couple of them on top of that thing.
Oh, yeah. And then the Terrordrome there in the corner.
Yeah. Wow.
It's a little crowded.
I was saying, if Scuba angles the camera right here, you guys can see the Terrordrome down here in the bottom right corner, and just above it's the Ewok Village. And a lot of you guys know exactly how massive that Ewok Village is. It's large. It's a big thing. And it's dwarfed by that. It's like half the size, if that, of the Terrordrome. And so that Terrordrome is just incredibly huge. It's just unbelievable how big that thing is.
Yeah, and there's so many foot pegs and having it all flailed open. It's a great way to display a lot of stuff.
And is that your Defiant? Do you have a Defiant there off to the right, or is that a?
No, it's not the Defiant.
Oh, is that a Rebel transport?
Oh yeah, on the wall.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go.
That's the pickle.
Yep.
Yep. I stole that idea from Analog Toys. He had his sideways like that, and then the stickers on that one are so good. I wanted to see them all the time, so I took the hatches off, and I have those up in the box.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Do you have the Defiant playset? That
I
thing?
don't have the Defiant yet, but it is coming in May, thanks to my good buddy Jeff Barker that was on earlier.
Oh, nice.
I don't know if he's still there, but yeah, we've done a deal. So
awesome. So how big is the USS Flag? I mean, we know it's large, but I've never seen one in real life.
7.5 feet long. And then I built the I built a custom base for it. So let me take you kind of.
We can go back and get some good sound clips from John off the game. I'm sure he's talking. Yeah. Look at my brother made it his name Tunnel Rat finally. So we know who he is.
So yeah. It's even bigger. It's with that custom base, it's like 9 feet long.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how much did that in height did that base make? Like you've
I've more than doubled
the height. Yeah.
Its height. Yeah.
So it's a good 3-4 foot tall then? 3 foot?
I would put that at about maybe 26 inches.
Okay, so a little over 2 feet tall. Gotcha.
Yep.
Interesting. Wow. Because I love those bases like Michael Mercy's got an awesome base that he built with the wheels. Does yours have wheels? Can you move it?
It sure does.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
It's almost a must, right? You've got to do it with the wheels, right?
Definitely. Yeah, I watched Michael Mercy, Retro Blasting, and
So Mike did the same thing. He put it on one of those as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. But I was like, when I was doing mine, I kind of spent a year planning it and building it, and I wanted it to have giant hangar bays to be able to really
fit everything in there. Yep.
And then I scoured eBay for all kinds of flag parts, stairways and stuff that weren't very
add
expensive.
to it. Yeah.
Yep. And a lot of stuff off the Defiant. There's on the backside, there's a gantry elevator that I took from the Defiant, and there's a brig, there's a ammo storage, motor pool, a CIC. So in the middle of the CIC is the Defiant booster control center. So it's got the 3 chairs in there, and then I made little acrylic screens.
Hey, Sleeping, how you doing?
All kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah, I really don't
the links. Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, I really don't know much about G.I. Joe, to be honest. It's a line that I have not got into, but I fear that I am getting into it very shortly. But what? So do you have on top of your flag? Do you have other G.I. Joe vehicles parked there on display? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So
that's the Sky Striker, Striker jet there. Sorry. He's got the Tomahawk helicopter.
Tomahawk.
Oh yeah.
Yep, and the Conquest is over there on the.
There it is. Yeah.
The space capsule that's sitting there, but.
And the Conquest is a new addition. I remember seeing that on your.
Mm-hmm.
But you need the tip. Do you still need the front tip, the little nozzle on the front?
Yeah.
All right. Anybody out there in the world have that tip? He needs the very end, the very tip of the plane.
I actually got some a rubber plug, and I'm going to carve one, or at least attempt to.
There you go, for a temporary thing. Yeah.
Which one's the Conquest?
It's a black,
Is it the Blackbird?
It's a black teardrop. It's a teardrop shaped black.
Hold on, I'll grab it. Just a sec.
I think around military circles, they would have nicknamed it the Aurora in the real world. Do you remember hearing people thinking we're seeing this weird plane aircraft thing that the military has called the Aurora, and
yeah, look at that. I think I would call that the Blackbird is probably the name I would associate it with.
Well, the other black, the Raven, was more of a blackbird shape.
Mhm.
This is more like
this is a very
okay. Oh, it's quite different.
Yeah, this is the X-19, kind of their Joe stealth bomber. Pretty
nice.
cool.
Yeah, looks awesome.
Yeah, but yeah, there's the camera.
The little tip.
The
There's
tip
a rubber.
is missing.
There's a rubber tip that goes in and makes it come to a point almost.
Yep.
But you've got all the missiles and stuff. It looks like that's cool.
Yeah, it's complete.
Yeah. Did you ever think about this? I mean, Dave, you're going to be coming along for the ride here for a minute. You don't have any, but think about G.I. Joe for a second compared to other toy lines. You had the Flag, the Terradrome. You've got even the Conquest and the Sky Striker are massive. The Black Raven ship that the Cobra had was massive.
Yep.
We had that base. Do you remember the base that linked up into 3 levels? It was like it would convert down into a vehicle, and they could drive it, and then you could extend it out into like 3 levels or something, which you have, right? He's got it here somewhere. Oh my gosh, there it is. Yeah.
Yep, the Mobile Command Center, the MCC.
Yep, the Mobile Command Center. And even the original first base, the gray one, like when you helped me get that, Scuba, and I had no idea how big it was until I put it together. I was just like, this. It
sprawls. I mean, the fact that you've got room for multiple vehicles back there, and then you've got the
helipad,
the command center, the helipad, the jail
cell, But it just like makes you think, like, how is it that in the Defiant, that space shuttle with the launch pad is just, I mean, it's huge and
massive.
It's like, how can one toy line afford to have there was at least 10 play sets and vehicles that are just the size, they're monumental, they're just absolutely massive. And it's all wrapped up in one toy line that it just blows my mind sometimes what they were doing with that. And the Defiant and stuff even came out when the line was starting to teeter down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it wasn't like, for some of us that were collecting, that's about where we stopped. Like I never even saw the Defiant in a store because I wasn't interested. I wasn't going and getting toys in that gap there. And so you wouldn't have thought that if a lot of the people were getting out of collecting, they would have put something out that massive, but they still did. They still did.
Hasbro, they dared to dream back then, like, just do it. They'll buy it.
So when you were growing up as kids, did you have friends or many friends that had a huge collection of G.I. Joe, or was it just a case of, you'd have one large playset and that was it with figures and stuff, or were the kids that just had like a sprawl of, like a massive collection of G.I. Joe?
There were quite a few of us in the neighborhood, and like we started out with our Star Wars figures. In fact, that's how I can tell my personal childhood figures apart from anything else in my collection, because they've still got traces of pink fingernail polish on the foot that all the moms insisted that the kids paint a foot. And so I know Terry's down the street, his was green, Joey's was silver. Blue. Was your silver? I was.
Yeah, my mom
like
put silver on the bottom, and
I was like,
it wasn't your nail polish, Pete.
I don't know. There are some incriminating photos of when I was a toddler.
But Paul Baker in the chat was on last week, and it was last week, right? Or was that 2 weeks? I think it was last week. And he was telling me that because we used to swap G.I. Joe parts. If we had extra figures, we would take them apart, and he'd take apart some of his, and I'd be like, well, give me those legs, and I'll take that body, and we'd make a new figure. Yeah, you'd make a new figure, and that guy would be you'd be a background trooper or someone, or sometimes you'd make a new name for him. And Paul was saying he was going through his collection and found these mishmashed figures, and on the bottom of some of the feet was painted silver. So he's like, I think I still got some of your parts from when we were kids.
That's great.
Yeah. So DCB's got a good one here. What's the one item in your collection you're the most proud of?
Go ahead, Dave.
What do you love the best?
I I've been asked this several times now, and I always pull out the same things, but because it is the same.
Yes,
thing.
it's that truck, right?
It's the ones that remind me of the times where, when I was younger and we were playing with this stuff with my dad. One is a remote control car, Tamiya RC car. I assume you had those in the States.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And the other one is the Action Man. It's the Royal Canadian Mounted Police Action Man. Those two items are just the two that I always pick out as the ones that they have sentimental value basically to me. So yeah.
Yeah. What do you got, Pete?
I would have to go with my my childhood X-wing and Luke over there in a different display case. Yeah, it's just off camera. And it's in really good shape. It's still pretty white, for all the playing that we did.
Wow.
Yep.
For me, I'm very happy that I have the 12-back Darth Vader.
Ooh.
And a few of the 12-backs. I've got Ben Kenobi, Chewbacca, but the Darth Vader is the one that stands out the most.
Mm-hmm.
Just because there's a good story behind how I got it. I was back into collecting. I had a small business with my friend Nofrio, and I had moved out of my dad's house, and I was now living in a couple towns over, close to where I worked. But the neighborhood all knew that I collected toys and did stuff. And some new people moved in down the road at the end of the street, and it was one of those houses that always turned over. I don't know if you had one of those in your neighborhood where everyone would always stay for 2 or 3 years, then it would get sold again,
Yeah.
And and it was like, why? But where most of the other neighbors stayed there for 30 or 40 years, there was always this one house that just kind of always flipped every 3 to 5 years. Well, someone else had moved in and they were cleaning out the attic, and they found it in the rafters, still wrapped in Christmas wrapping.
Oh, wow.
And all they did is they just tore the top of the wrapping open and saw that it was a Star Wars figure, and then asked the neighbors, hey, what do you know if anyone around here does something with these? Do you know if it's worth any money? And they said, you got to go down to the Adams house. His son buys Star Wars figures and stuff. So because I had probably gone to all the neighbors in our area by then and been like, you have any old toys? Do you still have any old toys? So my dad called me up, and he's like, the neighbors who just moved in are down here. And I zipped from my house and a couple towns over and ran over there, and they were nice enough to wait, while I zipped over. And it was a 12. I opened the package the rest away. It's a 12-back Darth Vader, and at the time they were probably selling for around $100, and we settled on $40, I think it was, if I remember right.
Nice.
She was just like, yeah, just give me $40 cash and it's yours. So
just $40.
And it's been in my collection. This was early 90s, so it's been in my collection ever since. And I just love the story of someone finding it in their attic. It's just
a total Christmas vacation Chevy Chase moment,
Yeah. And I gotta feel bad for the kid whose parents lost it. They were like, I don't know what happened to I know I hid the gift somewhere up here and stuff. And they're looking all over the house. You know what I mean?
Christmas morning, the dad's like, when there's supposed to be one more thing. And they're like,
right. Where I put it somewhere. It was because how you always I got to put it here, and so be a safe spot. No one will ever find it. Then you forget where it was, where you put it.
Did you get everything you want, bud? I really wanted a Darth Vader.
Oh dear! I reckon the dad wanted it.
Right.
There you go. Yeah. We got another one. What do you think of the live-action G.I. Joe films?
Not a fan. But I am tentatively excited for the Snake Eyes movie.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I'm going in with an open mind, and I hope it's good.
There's one thing I thought. Let me know if you guys think the same way. But anyone in the chat and in the live stream here, see, those G.I. Joe films are entertaining as a film themselves, but to me, they're not really G.I. Joe.
Right.
Because, Shipwreck walks by in one of them in the background. I think he even has a couple speaking lines. And if you don't look at the credits and know what's going on behind the scenes, you would never, ever know that it was Shipwreck.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my problem with the films is that they should have put. They don't have to be in the exact same outfits that they were wearing in the cartoons, but
at least give a nod.
Yeah, something with the colors, something that just tells us, because when you see someone in the background, you want to be like, oh my gosh, barbecue's walking by, or even if they don't have a line, you just want to be like, there's my character, there's the thing I liked, I had that guy, look, he's in the background, and something to really make it be that 80s G.I. Joe. And they just didn't do that. They put him in modern outfits, and it just doesn't feel like the same thing,
And here you've got these great comics by Larry Hama. It's like, don't reinvent the wheel. Just go to the comic. Do the comics. The comics would be fantastic, and you would have, fodder for how many movies? I mean,
infinite. I mean, they're because they picked up where the Marvel series left off with IDW was able to pick up where they left off, and Larry Hama's continuing to write.
Yep.
He's not drawing anymore because he's starting to get cramps or his arthritis. Something's going on, and he's still writing at least,
Yep.
He saw some Indiana Jones figures. I Spy with their cool stuff.
We should play I Spy.
Yeah.
He's like, just the tip. Yep, just the tip. Just the tip. Jeez. Josh Anderson's here. Yes. Hello,
hey,
Josh. That's what she said. Everyone's saying hello. Nice plane. The Conquest, right?
Yep.
No, it wasn't part of Night Force though, was it?
Nope.
Yeah, that was a separate.
Well, they did. That was a separate, and they took
repaint
of the Night Raven, right? And they I mean, they did all kinds of, like, it was Cobra, now it's Joe, and that was Joe, but now it's doing a lot of flip flop.
They had the Panther Squad. Remember that one? Wasn't it Panther or Python? Python right?
Patrol.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
Refrigerator Perry. I definitely want that figure too. Do you have him, Scuba?
I do. Yep.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I remember we mailed away for him as a
M.A.S.K.
kid. Yeah, we mailed away for him as a kid, but he's one of the ones that disappeared through the years, and I really want him back. I really want him back. That's cool. The Fridge.
See, all these names just go straight over my head. I've got to educate myself on this. I know I'm going to do.
The Fridge was a football player. He played football for the Buffalo Bills, right? Was it the Bills?
Chicago
Bears. That's what it was. Chicago Bears, yes. Awesome. And the Fridge was just a massive guy who could really break through all the lines, and that's why they nicknamed him the Fridge. It was like a refrigerator coming through.
He was huge. He had like a 3.5-foot vertical jump from a stand, like just
wow.
Big, the guy was a phenomenal player, and so they ended up. He was so popular, they ended up making a G.I. Joe figure of him. Yeah,
it's like Sergeant Slaughter. Yes, please. Yeah. The Fridge. Okay.
Yeah, Jesse has an incredible collection. That was some video. If you haven't seen that video, you got to check it out.
I need to. Yep.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
My short list.
Yoda Girl Creations, how you doing?
Why, that would be Miss Leslie.
And now I got to ask, this whole cabinet's full of Yoda over here. So, what Yoda creations do you make?
Yoda is her favorite character, and
this entire floor to ceiling, there's got to be 500 Yoda items in there. That's my favorite thing to collect is Yoda stuff.
Next time we go to Florida, Les, we'll stop by John's. She was like one of the toy hunts because she comes with me, and it's so great. She usually scouts ahead while I do the deep diving, into the different displays. And she was like half a row ahead of me, and I hear, "You're gonna want to see this." And I'm like, I go down there. Up. Yeah, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And it was a Empire Strikes Back carded Yoda, but the bubble was fractured, but still on card. And I'm like, I love you so much right now. And she's like, can we get it? And I'm like, hell yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is it on an Empire card that has the nice pictures on the back? Yeah. Yep. Nice.
Yeah, I had the same situation with DCB June. She knows what I like. So if we go to a fair together, a toy fair together, she'll pick out items for me as well. There was one time I said, I'm really looking for this $6 million outfit on card, but they'll never have it at this toy fair. I've never seen one before in the UK. And she went ahead and, unbelievable, she spotted one on the table and she said, you got to come over here. You got to come over here.
Yeah.
I walked over. I'm looking at the table. I still didn't see it. I just still couldn't see it. She said, look over there. And it's like, oh
Yeah.
I'm literally just talking about it 5 minutes ago.
Wow.
My memory's terrible. I'm blind. I just.
Yep, you married up like I did.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. Biker's here. He finally got Zartan and Cobra Trooper classified. Really good figures. I like
Very
those.
cool.
Yeah.
Still waiting on mine to come. They've been delayed yet again.
Yeah, the outfits don't have to be exactly, but similar. At least a little bit in the colors, so that you can just notice that it's that character. Yeah.
Yep.
I think it would have made the movies a lot better, feel a lot more like G.I. Joe if they just did that.
Oh, definitely.
Thanks,
Hey, Gary.
How you doing? My brother had the fridge. Yeah.
Nice, Tim.
The Bears.
Bears.
Oh, Bears. Yep. Sergeant Slaughter with his tank. Yeah, it was the
Warthog.
No, he had the Warthog, but what was that other tank? The Triple T. The Triple T.
The Triple T, where he's completely exposed on the front of it. Like,
it's just sitting there like it's got his controls. Yeah. And then he had the Marauders. Right? What was it? Weren't they something like wasn't it the Marauders? Mr. T's Marauders or something?
Yeah, what was it? Slaughter?
Sorry, Sergeant Slaughter's Marauders. I don't know. Yeah, they had their own tank or something too, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
People saying hello, the Bears. Vintage Dave, if you had a choice, a new Star Wars story film or a M.A.S.K film.
I assume a M.A.S.K film.
I think a M.A.S.K film would be awesome.
I like variety, as you can see from the room. I don't just focus on one thing. So I think it's time for a M.A.S.K film, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
It would be.
I think we need a M.A.S.K resurgence all the way around. Like bring back a cartoon. Let's make a film. Let's get some figures and vehicles going. Yeah. Do you have that, Scuba? Do you got any M.A.S.K?
I have some bits that came in a Star Wars box, but I have to say I watched Dave your Switchblade restoration, and I was just like glued to the TV. Every little, I was like, oh, we got to put that spring in. Like every little feels there.
Wow. And yeah, that's a cool car. I mean, that's a really nice vehicle, I think. That one.
Well, actually, you know what?
Or the Switchblade is the helicopter in the jet, right? Yeah, that's right. Yep.
Yeah, that was the first time I'd ever held a Switchblade in my hands, and so what do? You take it apart. I mean, what else do you do?
And you fix it and make it better.
You make it better, yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, that spring fix. Oh, good stuff.
The most precarious one, I think, was the Rhino, because I had to get 3 different. If I got a complete Rhino, it was pushing $200. Mm-hmm. But I found 3 that were like not complete for like $30 each. Yep. And then I built one that's totally complete, and out of the 3,
Yeah.
And man, when you get that thing taken apart, it's like, to put it back together, you've got to angle it, hold the tab, keep the spring pressed in, push it down, lock it all together before it spring loads and flies apart. You're like, how did they ever mass produce this? I have no idea.
I have no idea either.
I can't imagine the people like trying to get this thing together and hold it, unless they had a couple people where someone, okay, I got it together, screw it, put the screws in while I hold it, like.
You know what? I was thinking that, because I've opened up a few M.A.S.K vehicles, and they're all the same, exactly the same experience as you. You open it up, as soon as you undo the screw, the thing just goes doing. Yeah, exactly. And as I was doing that Switchblade restoration, all the way through that, I was just thinking, how did they manufacture these things in the factory? How did they mass assemble these things?
Yeah.
There must have been springs and stuff flying everywhere. Oh, you lost another one. Fuck.
I mean, that swear jar must have been full.
All I can think of is Elf, where he's like, "I'm a cotton-headed ninny muggins."
Yeah. Actually, I had a phone call from a guy called Rob. He's got a handle Tats and Toys, and he's probably got the largest mask collection in the UK, or if not around the globe. He's got multiples of everything, basically, all nicely boxed and carded. And he phoned me up after seeing that Switchblade video, and he said, "Oh, you know, I've seen you open that up. I've opened up a few of those Switchblades, and there's one point where I open it up, and it looks like it snaps. There's like this sort of snapping sound because at the front of the Switchblade, some of it's actually glued together. So you have to sort of just crack the glue, basically." But he was saying that, I can't remember which vehicle it was, but there's one other vehicle which is even worse. He said you don't want to go anywhere near that, but it's just, yeah,
you'll never get it back.
I like a challenge.
That's cool, but that's a good point. It's like if Hasbro were to make that, or I'm sorry, because they had bought Kenner, would make that, you know, how many cool features would it have? Because they'd be like, well, we're not doing any of that. There's no way that they would do that at a production line. All the springs and the intricacy, it would have very basic, like push button and gun goes doink.
Yeah. Well, I think today they would do it like almost like a transformer in a sense, where parts just fold and combine.
That's a very good point. Yeah, would just deploy. Yep, but it still would be cool, and yes, I would be buying them.
Leslie, do you have does she have a channel?
She does not. That's her. She likes to craft and do purses and bags and that sort of stuff on the side. That's kind of her. I come down to the toy room and monkey with my stuff, and she goes up there, like, hey, I found some cool Star Wars fabric, and I'm like, oh, that is cool, and she's like, I'm making it into a purse, and I'm like, wicked.
But not a pillow or a throw blanket that we can all use.
We have some. Yeah, we have a few. Yeah, she's done some stuff for the house too. It's great.
Yeah. Secret Wars. Do you guys remember it? Anyone?
I remember it, but I don't have any.
No, me either. Yeah. It's one that I really, really want. But again, whenever I find loose figures, I'm always like, is this a Secret Wars or is this a Toy Biz re-release from the silver cards? And you can't tell a lot when you're looking at them online or something. And a lot of times when I find them in person, they're in just such terrible shape that a leg's bit off or an arm's missing or something, and it's always like, do you ever wonder about that? Like, why are feet chewed off oftentimes? I find figures and one foot looks like it's been chewed off by something. And I'm like, who bites their feet off? Like, what is this thing?
Like, was it a kid watching cartoons and just
yeah.
Or was it your dog and you caught him and no?
It must be, yeah. I remember one of our dogs swallowed a snaggletooth whole. Yeah. And I remember years later when it passed away and Dad buried it in the back by the barn, I was like, so how long do we have to wait before it decomposes and I can get Snaggletooth back? And Dad was like, it doesn't work that way. He goes, that figure's not going to be retrievable.
Remember when he had a really weird colored poop? Yeah.
I just imagined it just hanging out in his stomach and he'd be totally fine. And once the dog decomposed,
like the Sarlacc pit, right?
Pull it out, Yeah. They're slowly digested over 1,000 years, right? Come on.
Yeah, he's got to be mostly whole.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you seem to have more concern about your snaggletooth than the
dog. Oh no. Salacious and the guys who've been watching us play Red Dead are going to be like, it's all true. He doesn't care about anything. All he cares about is his toys.
He just wants to shoot you in the face and take your toys.
Well, that's what he was saying. He was like, I can imagine you going around the neighborhood just kidnapping old people, shooting them, getting rid of their bodies, and taking all their toys.
Oh dear.
But yeah, I actually love the Secret Wars, the Marvel stuff. I love the early Toy Biz Silver line. I love the DC also, the superpowers from DC, and the gold carded line that Toy Biz did of DC. I'm a big fan of all those figures. It's just difficult to get them, I think, in the condition I want.
I got some Kenner superpowers figures, but that was by default again when I took like 11 boxes of Star Wars, like 90s Star Wars. Like in one of the boxes was a lot of those Kenner figures. Now they didn't have capes or their accessories, but there was a whole Batmobile in there. So
oh wow, the blue one.
Yeah,
that's a cool car.
The front punches out.
The front, boom, yeah. The front. I gotta do a video on that. I got that. That's the one thing I do have, and I should do a video on that since I've been doing cars lately.
Chuck Norris.
Yeah, the Chuck Norris is awesome.
Isn't that Chuck Norris stuff pretty cool?
That was way cool.
Yeah. That's the first time I've seen that Chuck Norris car. That's awesome. I love the fact the whole windscreen, the windshield, you can press down. That's brilliant.
Yeah, that was
awesome.
It took. I knew that the back had those two, but I was like, where did the other latch go? And I was like, I had to pause the video, and I'm hitting everything, pushing the tires, like clicking them, and then I was like,
as bad as the M.A.S.K
it's the
vehicle.
windshield.
Like,
it's the windshield. Yeah, that was a good find. I just got lucky, and I found because something. Oh, I know what it was. It was I found the cartoon on Tubi, the app, the Tubi app.
Yeah,
and they got a lot of really good old cartoons. They got the Bigfoot cartoon on there from the Bigfoot truck. Like there was a cartoon about that truck having adventures, and there's a Mr. T cartoon with his
Mr. T's cool
gang of. That one's really strange because today you would not be able to do that cartoon. Like a 40-year-old man hanging out with a gymnastics school group, solving mysteries. And so it was like, and the stuff he says and does with those girls, it's like, no, that would not go over well today. But and then I saw the Chuck Norris and the Karate Commandos, and I was like, I remember we had some of those figures when we were kids, and I started looking into it, and they're not that bad. They're not that expensive to collect, and you can get them complete with all their parts, and they look great. And I found the car and like 4 or 5 figures for about $100, and I just grabbed it. I was like, and it was the only time I had seen that car for sale, so I was like, I'm just grabbing this lot. And then I went, okay, now what figures do I need? And I found the remaining figures I wanted from it, and got a couple extra, generic ninja to go to just to have a ninja troop, because those ninja are quite common.
Yeah, I think you must have bought them all because to be honest, I did have a look. I saw your video and I thought, I do like a good ninja. So I had a look on eBay and I couldn't find them. But you know what? Talking of ninjas, there is a line that I think I might get into. So I love my Remco Karate Kid.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
And I had no idea, but Remco also had another line called Secret of the Ninja. Have you heard of this?
Oh line? Yeah.
I have not.
Yeah. So Secret of the Ninja basically has a whole host of different characters along lines of martial arts. So there's this Shaolin monk, there's ninjas, there's all sorts of great characters, but the figures themselves are almost identical to the Karate Kid figures. It's the same mechanism basically, and you can see that some of the parts have been reused. So there's a Karate Kid referee. I don't know if you've seen that figure. Where is he? He's down here. There he is.
I'm still on the lookout for a few of those figures for you, Dave.
Yep, here we go. There's the Karate Kid referee.
Yep.
So he came in one of the.
He looks like Ernest Borgnine.
Yeah, he's brilliant, isn't he? But I noticed in this Secret of the Ninja line that basically they've reused this character, but he doesn't have the white top. He's basically just a bear top.
Oh wow!
And
bear skin.
Yeah, and he's got a mask that he puts over the top of his head and stuff. So I've been looking on eBay. I don't think it was released in the UK, so I'm looking on eBay to see if I can find figures from that line. It looks pretty cool.
Neat.
And they'll go well with the Karate Kid figures.
Yeah, Remco made some neat things. I liked the Warlord and the Conan that they did that were sort of in that style of Master of the Universe, you know?
Rambo.
And they had Arak, the warrior.
Remco have done all sorts of great stuff. They've been around for ages, actually.
Yeah.
And they've done awesome pieces over the time. Like they did what was it? They did some 3 3/4 inch monsters. So they had like Dracula and
the monster under the water there, creature.
Yeah. And they look awesome.
I came across a Remco, I think it was Remco, haunted house.
Oh, wow.
They did. Yeah, it was like in the box, the whole bit, and they wanted like $300 for it, which
wow.
I was like, ooh.
It's cool, but
it's cool. I don't really have any attachment to it, so I was like, I got a hard time. I'm like, it's really neat, and they were like, yeah, you don't see them very often. I'm like, oh, I'm not questioning you at all. I'm just like holding it and enjoying it, but they've done some neat stuff.
Speaking of Ninja, I just got Ninjor, the new one.
Origins, so good.
Yeah. And all his gear fits on his back. You can put the bow and his nunchucks fit in a little pocket there. So they really thought it out and made it so that you can fit all the accessories. And if you want to use the bow, the sword fits where the bow goes.
Oh, slick.
So because the bow has a little lip on it here, right here, and that's the same width as the sword, and it fits right into the sheath.
Nice.
So you basically slide the bow into the sheath.
Bravo, Mattel.
Yeah, so you can switch if you want the sword back there and you want to use the bow.
Yeah.
So they really thought it out. It's really cool that they did that so well, you know. But
hoping more of those start popping up in the wild than just He-Man and Skeletor.
Did you guys get into Masters Universe when you were younger? You did.
My
Scuba?
brother.
Yep.
My brother was into it. Yeah.
Any in your collection today?
Yeah, I have a few. The main characters, He-Man and Skeletor on the cats. Ninja. There is a Ninja there.
Yeah, there was. He's a good one to have if you got the original vintage. Yeah.
So cool. Do you have Mosquito?
No, I don't have Mosquito.
Yeah, you grabbed that Mosquito, didn't you? Yeah.
With the blood.
Believe it or not, I know people hate Ram Man, but Ram Man.
I like Ram Man.
Ram Man was one of my favorite characters from MOTU when I was younger. But there's Ninja. I think it's quite different to the modern one, isn't it?
Well, but the weapons are so
very close.
The weapons are so similar, though. Look at that.
Yeah, the bow.
Oh yeah, the bow.
And that sword. Yeah, wow.
The logo. Yeah, they did a good job.
He's a little beefier, I guess.
Yeah, he's beefier, and this has got cloth.
And yours is cloth, right? Yeah, this is all plastic. Where yours is cloth.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I've got a selection of figures, just random figures that I just like the look of. But my brother was much more into the.
Hey, Kat, how you doing?
Was your brother younger?
Yeah, he was younger.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I just love Ram Man.
I know.
I would take him to like. Craig was always Skeletor, and I'd take Ram Man and just. Just to tick him off. He's like, you can't do that, and I'm like, yeah, you can. He's Ram Man.
When I recently got back into collecting that line, which by the way, Pixel Dan's book has finally been blogged as shipped, and it's on its way to my house.
Oh, wow.
And it's got every Masters of the Universe toy item ever made.
Holy smokes.
I cannot wait to get it, and I was shocked because I've been waiting years for this. I remember I ordered it, I don't know how many years ago, and I thought for sure it was just it was just disappeared. It was gone. And then all of a sudden I get an email saying it's shipped. If you're we're taking payment for it out of your account if you're okay with it, and I was like, of course, ship it. But
what was it going for?
Amazon or direct from the?
I don't remember I'd have to look it up again to remember the price. It was so long ago, but
I wonder
it's at least $50. I think it was at least $50 because it's a good thick book, and and it's more of an independent Pixel Dan's behind it and a few other people, I guess. But
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I pre-ordered it
What amazed me was when I got back into getting these things and sort of filling out my collection of Masters, I suddenly I never knew before like how many variations there were. Like Zodak has 3 variations, Stratos has 3 variations, Ram Man has 2, Merman has 2, Beastman has 2 variations, you know? And it's like
Man at Arms.
Yeah, Man at Arms
Dots.
has the dots and the not dots, yeah. And it's like I've got the Ram Man variants, the Stratos, the Mermans, the Beastmans, the Zodaks, but it's like few of them are really hard to find. I got Hordak. There's 2 different Hordaks. There's 2 different. The guy with the suction, Leechor.
Leechor.
Yeah, he's got dark red and then light red. You know, it's like there's so many variants that it's just unbelievable. It's a crazy line to try and collect if you're into variant stuff, but.
Yeah, I have to say I'm not much of a variant collector, to be honest. I think it's probably a space thing. Yeah. So
that's the thing.
I'm happy to have one version of the character, and then.
That's
although thing, having said that,
a lot of my the one versions on the shelf. Oh, pardon me. I just exploded for some reason. The one versions on the shelf, and then the variants are all like either hitting a box or on a pile because I don't know where to put them right now. You know.
So you know the A-Team figures, the amazing balloon A-Team figures. There are variants of these, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen these?
What? Sorry.
Wow. And Rambo also. Have you noticed all the variants in Rambo?
Oh, wow. We'll come on to Rambo in a minute, but yeah.
Dude, that's cool.
So the 3, I think all the 4 main characters have variants, although the Mr. T figure is so slight that it's not worth it. But all the other 3 characters have vastly different color schemes.
Wow.
And I don't know if they're European or I don't know where they come from, but yeah.
Wow.
There are some bizarre variants out there.
Yeah. Yeah, I've noticed my Rambos have big heads, small heads, squishy heads, hard heads, like tall bodies, short bodies. It's like they were all over. I think it's almost like when they were making the Rambo figures, they were like, okay, this is the mold for the States. We're going to send a different mold to Canada, but it's going to be very close, but like an inch shorter, you know? And then over in Europe, we're going to send a different mold. It's going to be very close, but the head is bigger, you know? Like, it's just but
the Kalika, the Rambo line is an awesome line because you've got basically the Series 1 figures and then the sort of Series 2 figures, which are much harder to find.
Oh, they are, yeah.
I think they're
the weapons and gimmicks.
Yeah.
Are amazing.
I think that most of Series 2 is sold in South America, Argentina, like those sorts of places. But if you go and look on the Argentinian sales sites and you have a look for Rambo, I think they're distributed by Joxa or something like that. You search for that, you find the most amazing variants of Rambo figures. I mean,
wow.
They're all like kids out in desert gear, all sorts of stuff. It's amazing, but it's just so hard to get hold of. Because I can't sign up for those sites because I'm in UK, so they don't allow me. And then shipping costs a fortune. But I would love to get more of those Rambo variants.
And the vehicles are just awesome. That 6-wheeled.
Yeah,
he's got like a 6-wheeled Jeep or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that thing's cool. And the jet.
I've got the helicopter. Which I mean, the helicopter's on par with the Dragonfly, man. I mean, I'm a big fan of G.I. Joe's Dragonfly. And the Rambo helicopter, very similar. It's got the trigger for the it's just like wow. And then that jet, the wings fold up, and it's like a little missile jet thing, and then he when all these missiles pop out. Yeah, it's just like cool.
Let's see if I can move this guy. I don't want the camera to fall off now. So, I don't know if this is going to work.
I did it earlier.
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
Is this working?
Yeah, a little bit.
We're mobile.
Oh, there they are. Oh, there's the Jeep. Yeah.
There's the Defender there. Yeah. So you can let me just stand up. Let me see if I can show you. So let's see. So these are this guy here, for example.
Oh my gosh! Look at his armor. That's cool.
Yeah, that's Scott Hyde. He's got an awesome feature. He has a battery that you can put in, and then you press a button on the side, and then his glass dome on top lights up, and it shows his face underneath.
Oh my
it's
gosh,
awesome.
that's cool.
Yeah.
What a neat idea.
Yeah. And then this is Snakebite. So these are all like Series 2 figures. They're just so hard to get hold of.
Is that like a lasso thing that would like to capture somebody with?
Yeah, you can capture that and animals. You can see there's like a snake in there.
That's
and then
cool.
in his backpack he's got rats and all sorts of scorpions and stuff. It's awesome. And then what's this guy's name?
Yeah, I have not seen those guys before.
Yeah,
those are new to me.
X-Ray. This is X-Ray. So if you shine a light on the top of his head, you can see his eyes light up.
Oh, his eyes glow. Yeah.
What?
So those are the bad guys, and then this is the only other Series 2 one I've got at the moment, which is T.D. Jackson from the Force of Freedom.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. American football player, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Does he shoot discs or something? What is that?
Yeah, he shoots discs. So
yeah, like little discs shoot out of there. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, discs.
Excellent.
Yeah. So, but yeah, these guys have got so many accessories on all. I love the Coleco Rambo line. It's awesome.
The accessories have really cool gimmicks. It's like just like launching missiles or those discs that fly out, or like you said, the guy that his head lights up. That's just really cool. Yeah.
My camera work is top notch there. There we go.
So we got to catch up on some questions here. We got if you all had to collect a new franchise no older than the last 10 years. So something in the last 10 years.
No older than
for me.
no idea.
For me, it's a really good one. It's really easy. It would be Ben 10. I actually wish to this day that when Ben 10 first came out, I started getting those figures right from day one and kept them on the cards. Because I really think Ben 10 has some really nice looking action figures, and even some of the stuff they still have coming out today. I sometimes see him in the toy aisles, and I'm like, wow, that guy looks cool. I don't know what he is or who he is, but he looks cool.
In the last,
this is a difficult question.
I mean, the easy answer, I would say Black Series, just simply because I only have a few. It's not until I really started hanging out with all you guys that I was like, oh, I like these Black Series. These look good. Seeing Shabby's wall, like the library, like that's impressive. So I think if I was gonna like go full on, money was no object, and you wanted to do a kind of a completionist collection, I think it would be Black Series for me.
This is a tough one for me because honestly, I don't really keep up with a lot of the modern lines. I mean, I watch all the streams and people's unboxings of new stuff, but there is one line that has caught my eye, which hasn't been released yet, but it's the Action Force, the new Action Force line from
Valverse.
Yeah, that is a line that I could potentially dip into. Because of the detail, the accessories look absolutely amazing. That is a line that I could potentially get into.
Yeah,
I haven't pre-ordered. I haven't done it yet, but
no.
I'll see what people's views are like when they get them. But I'm sure they're going to be positive. They look awesome.
I currently have Sergeant Slaughter, and
I want to get the Sergeant Slaughter. Yeah.
Yeah,
I like that Sergeant Slaughter,
and it's not because I don't like the others. It was just kind of one of those like, okay, yeah, I can't get everything right this second. And Bobby has said, these are going to be available. I know they got pushed back a little bit, but they're going to be available. They're at a good price. Not to worry. I mean, he's really put his heart and soul into it, and I can't wait to see it. And if you want an army build. Knock your socks off. You can army build all you want.
I liked how some of those figures he had a base to go on so that you can army build and change their accessories and change
Yeah.
the helmets.
Oh,
You can change the helmets,
smart.
change the boots, parts. Yeah.
Yep.
So like you can really army build and have each one a specialty. Like you could be like, this is my machine gunner one, and this is my bazooka trooper one, and you know what I mean. And you can sort of build your own in that sense. And like you said, those accessory packs. Some of those weapons have such detail.
Yeah.
I was like, he's got like 4 or 5 paint apps on a single weapon just to make it look authentic. I'm like, this is so cool.
Well, and he said he wasn't going to make them out of the cheaper plastic because he wanted that mold detail in the weapon. You know, he didn't want to sacrifice.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, we can do it for cheaper, but it's not going to be like, nope, I want it to look good.
And some of them look like a real world weapon. I mean, like they really should look in the real world. I mean, it's just amazing how detailed they are. Yeah.
You know, re-equip some of my classifieds with.
There you go. Yeah, that's true. Like, you could. Absolutely.
You know, welcome to Valverse.
Yeah. So here's an interesting. What toys do you think should be made that currently aren't? Like the TV theme, books, other? Man, that's a tough one because I keep thinking of things like, you know, well, we need an Indiana Jones line, but they did that 2 or 3 times. I'm like, we need I'd
like it done well again.
Yeah, I'd like it done well. Yeah. And I'm like, we need I always liked the Dark Crystal and thought a lot of those things would make great figures, but they did a figure line and it kind of failed, you know?
Yeah, I'd like them to do the characters from the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon.
There you go. Yeah, the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon. Absolutely.
Yeah, I know they did the advanced Dungeons and Dragons, but I really wanted the figures.
One specific to those cartoon. Yeah, oh, there he goes. Look at that play set.
It's a work in progress. You know,
that's awesome. Yeah.
Wasn't there a snake or a skull that goes in the top? What's that? What went in the top right there?
There's like a big dragon that goes.
A dragon head thing.
And then there's a gate that I'm missing that has skull heads on it, so you're not
That's
wrong.
what I remember the skull head from.
And then back behind the stalactite teeth, you know, is like where the treasure chest goes, and then there's like a little jail.
Wow.
So
that's a cool playset. I can't believe you got that thing.
Oh, I picked it up. It was $90. I about fell over.
Wow.
So
wow.
It's going to be a very slow work in progress because it is missing quite a few things, and those little things are not cheap.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of some other stuff. Like, I've always wanted Thundar the Barbarian figures, like a line of Thundar the Barbarian. When I was a kid, I loved Thundar. I mean, to me, I discovered He-Man and Black Star before, but then later in life found Thundar the Barbarian and found out that it had come out before those cartoons. And I was like, why didn't this catch on? Thundar is incredibly awesome. And I didn't understand why it didn't catch on, but He-Man did, you know? And I was like, it's even some of the same artists working on the cartoons. So in my head, I was like, isn't it the same people? Like, why did they scrap Thundar and go to He-Man, you know? And like, but yeah. And Herculoids. Herculoids is another one. Yeah, with Gleep and Gloop and... So was it Zach the dragon thing, Zach or something like that? I think its name was, and there was like a Bigfoot guy who was made out of rock. It was
now I want to go back and watch those.
Yeah, I know that they did do there's one set that someone did of like the Herculoids, and it's insanely expensive. I mean, it could probably cost you $500 or $600. I just remember, but. It was like an off-brand manufacturer, like, you know, maybe like a Super 7 or someone who just did one run, and then that was it. And they've never, but I don't think it was Super 7. I think it was before Super 7 was out. But I just would love someone to make proper figures and have them to be able to, with all those creatures and stuff. And for Thundar the Barbarian and of Herculoids. Yeah.
I mean, all those Hanna-Barbera cartoons are just...
Oh, I know.
I love it. You know, Captain Caveman and Blue Falcon and Dino Mutt. You know,
well, I had to get those figures when I saw them come out. You know.
Yeah, that was. I mean, and they knew what they were doing. They were like,
"Oh, I know."
You want
they put Dino Mutt in one box. And, Yep. Blue Falcon in one set, Dynamite in another. You couldn't just buy them both together. Yep. Captain Caveman in a different set, See, yeah.
Yeah, very sneaky.
Yeah, we loved. I mean, that had to be like a holy terror on our parents because when my brother and I, when we watched Captain Caveman, that's all we would yell, Captain Caveman! We'd be yelling it around the house. It'd drive our parents crazy. Like, would you shut up with this caveman guy?
Oh, Cavey.
Oh yeah, Chris
Here's
Star.
one. Do you remember Chris Star?
Yeah.
Oh yes, I have.
Those were cool.
One Chris Star Warrior, the Green Warrior. Still, I don't have the boulder sling or not slingshot. What was that? The weapon.
Oh yeah, his
catapult. There we go. Catapult.
Thing.
Yeah, I don't have that anymore, but yeah, I had a few of those guys.
And that line had the dragons, didn't it, as well, if I remember?
There was dragons,
yeah. John Baldry. Isn't it John that has them?
I think he's got a dragon or two. Yeah,
he's got both the dragons.
I think he had to leave the chat, so we might not know. But yeah, I remember him saying something about him. Yeah, I think he's got the dragons. I've got a whole bunch of weapons. I found a lot with just a bunch of random weapons and things, and I've got those crystal staffs.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know that these are Crystar because of the crystalline shapes and the way that those staffs are. And so now I got to find the figures that go with the weapons, which is usually the other way around, right?
Yeah. No, that was a great line.
And again, it was that clear, translucent,
the transparency,
colored plastic that just makes you kind of, I like it. I saw a few of the Magna Men Saturday up in Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah. Oh, cool. Last Starfighter. He's right. We need some of those would have been great 3.75 5 POA figures.
Yes,
they would have fit right in with our Star Wars stuff. They would have been great to have. Yeah. Last Starfighter for sure.
Centauri.
Yeah. Griggs was it Griggs, the guy who flew with him? His co-pilot, right?
Yep.
V figures, yes. I want and the ships. We got to have the V ships. Those would be cool.
That was so cool. We would, when that mini series was on, that was all the talk on the playground was about V.
Yeah.
V,
and that was a no-brainer. I mean, why didn't they put those figures out? They showed the kids playing with them in the show. Yeah. I think they were in a Sears catalog or something. It's like going to come out later that year, and they just canceled it. I don't know why. That was a perfect. Yeah. Do I have a weird echo, guys? Do you hear it?
Sometimes, but it's nothing to worry about, I don't think.
I'll make sure everything's plugged in all the way. Yeah.
Maybe if you speak in a falsetto. No.
They were like, you should do the whole room. Yeah, D&D cartoon is the best. 45, and I'm still watching that D&D cartoon. Yeah.
Yep.
Pole position toys. What?
Whoa.
Yeah, that was
I don't think so, did they?
No. I don't think so either, but that's a
cool.
funny thing.
Only their uncle.
Visionaries, yeah.
That's something I didn't have, but now, I appreciate it more.
Yeah.
Those
are cool figures, and they had cool weapons and those big staffs with the big banner thing on them, with the hologram. Yeah. And the cartoon and the comic are great because I think the cartoon is on, if it's not on Tubi, it's on Cartoon Blast. The other one to look at, if you haven't checked out Cartoon Blast, it's another great cartoon streaming app service. And I think the guy is doing it from his basement, and he's doing it like illegally. So someday I think he's going to get shut down because the way he does it is he does like Visionaries, and he'll have like the whole season. So he'll have like 4 hours of Visionaries in one block. One block. So and he does this thing like he has a whole bunch of like Saturday morning boys cartoon block, and it's like an hour and a half of like Heathcliff and other random.
What was the name of it? I got to write this down.
Cartoon Blast. You can find it on Roku. If you search on Roku, your Roku device, whatever,
got it.
you can find Cartoon Blast. And he had the whole droids and Ewok stuff up, but I noticed that when Disney put the Ewoks up, his Ewoks disappeared. Yeah, so
yeah, they put the thump on him.
He might have done it himself before getting
before
in trouble,
he got
you know? Yeah. Because he's got all a M.A.S.K up there. He's got like the G-Force, you know, you know, and a bunch of other random cartoons that you can't find anywhere else. And I think he's been posting them because you can't find them anywhere else. And so I think he gets away with by putting them in chunks rather than episode by episode and having it listed as a series. He'll list them like the Visionaries Hour or something like that, and it'll be like a whole chunk of that stuff, you know.
Interesting.
So it's just played back to back, and some of it looks like it's taken right off a VHS tape, or you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you can see a
couple of them. I mean, some of them are really good quality. You can tell it's like cut from a DVD or from a Blu-ray, but then other ones you're like, this is all right off a VHS, dude. Like, and that's all. It must have been all he had access to, but I bet I almost wonder if he started out just kind of like trying to archive his own collection, and then like just said, I might as well open it up to everybody and have it as a free app. Because I think there are little ads at the beginning sometimes, I think, if I remember right. And because I looked into it, I was thinking of doing a toy channel and putting a lot of our videos, like getting a bunch of us together saying like, who wants to put up videos? Now I can hear an echo.
Yeah, there's an echo now.
Yeah. Don't know how it started or why. Are we doing it again? Yeah, it still is. Oh, well, we'll deal with it. So I was looking into doing a streaming app service where it had toy stuff, you know, a lot of the stuff that those of us in the toy community have made on our YouTube channels, and just say like, is there a few episodes or certain things you'd like to put on this app? But it costs $5,200 per month to run the server for your own streaming app service, because it comes up every once in a while on my Roku device saying, you know, make your own streaming app service, go here to find out how, look for details. And it's like, you can name it what you want, you can make an icon for it, Roku will put it up as a searchable thing. It's like they take care of everything for you, but it costs about $5,000 a month to rent the server space, because they're expecting you to have a whole, you know, like gigabytes and gigabytes worth of, you know, you get like a couple terabytes worth of space to start out with. So it's like they're giving you a massive amounts of space and bandwidth too. They're like, we have 1 gig speeds coming in and out of the facility, so that you should be able to get a really good connection. You know, they're doing it top notch and hosting it all. So
but
I can see that
for that kind of money.
Yes, I can see the value in it, but it's like it's something. No, us in the toy community can't afford that yet. We're not going for it, you know. But it makes me wonder, like, how this guy was able to afford doing it, because you can clearly tell the Cartoon Blast is not run by a corporation or some kind of big entity. It's when you start watching it and seeing how it's laid out, you'll get it. You'll be like, yeah, this is some guy in his basement doing, you know, like. But it must be a well-to-do guy to be able to pay that $5,000 a month.
Independently wealthy, and he's
yeah.
I want to watch cartoons, and I bet everybody else does too.
Yeah, Visionary. We did that. Yeah, even to this day, I love the holographic.
So I have to ask. Which do you prefer, Visionaries or Supernaturals?
Visionaries.
I would go Visionaries. I appreciate Supernaturals, though.
Yeah,
I do.
You guys sound cooler with the echo. Hey, Scott, how you doing? JT, how you doing? Ulysses 31. Oh yeah, he and Cartoon Blast has Ulysses 31. I've been rewatching it. It's awesome. That's a good cartoon. Oh my gosh.
Are there toys? I think there are some toys on there for that.
Were there toys?
I don't know.
That's the one that's kind of Camelot in space, right? Like ish,
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I have a feeling there are toys for that line.
Did Supernaturals not have a cartoon? Only Visionaries had the cartoon? Supernaturals didn't?
I don't think Supernaturals had a cartoon, no.
Wow. Because Visionaries even had a comic book. I got the comics for Visionaries. And
Yeah.
oh, yeah, the Optimus Prime. Did you see that? Hey, Shinobi, how you doing?
Nuts.
I know.
For $700, I should be able to say, Optimus, go get a bourbon.
Yes, right? Yeah.
And he's like, rolling out.
Yeah.
Tonka made super.
It's selling out though, right? I mean, it's expensive, but it's still selling out, of course.
Yeah. I saw a couple of the channels that got the promo one, and they're like sitting there making it transform. Oh, that's so cool.
I like that. Like even when he's not doing anything, he's still kind of like, gesturing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am Optimus Prime. Yeah, I agree with you, Scuba. I'm not considering anything a real robot, like until I can be sitting on the couch and be like, go get me a soda. And the robot walks into the kitchen, opens the fridge, gets the soda, closes the fridge, walks back over. Here you are, sir.
The closest we ever got was the remember the Radio Shack Robbie the robot? Where like you could send it into the kitchen to your mom and then yell and be like, hey, can we get some Kool-Aid? She's like, not on that carpet, you're not.
Yeah, that's right. That was always an answer. Why was that always an answer? Not on the carpet.
What do you mean red dye number 5 won't come out?
Yeah, I had Vince. Wait, was it little Vincent, the one with the gripper arms that just kind of went like that? And you could voice into it, go straight, turn left, no, left. No, back up. Go left. What's wrong with this thing? And then we had the Omni one, the big one that had the tray.
Yep.
And it had a little cup holder in the tray, and that's where you would put the
Robbie.
And she could put a sandwich. She could put a sandwich on the tray and a little soda in the cup holder, and then and drive back to you, and then the cat would get scared to death and knock the thing off. And
the dog would just eat the sandwich straight off the tray.
or the dog would eat the sandwich. Yeah, gulp, gulp, gulp. Oh, come on. As soon as the dog heard that robot moving, he'd jump up. The food robot's moving again.
Mobile treats are coming.
Yeah. Man, does anybody still have those old robots? Like, that'd be something to look into. They can't possibly still work to this day, can they?
They've got to.
I think I saw them on Leicester. I think Leicester did a video recently of their top 5 favorite toys or whatever. I think they robots came up. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I found a he's over there. The remote controlled R2, but he didn't have the remote control. And
that remote control
I missed
R2.
it on Macari by just a few hours of having it. And I was like, oh. Otherwise, I put a battery in him and he was all, lighting up. He wouldn't do anything because you can't tell him what to do unless you got the little clicky remote. But very cool.
Favorite figure to army build of all time? He's doing Bucky Toad for the troopers at the moment.
Favorite army build? I'm partial to a Hoth trooper.
Yeah, I will always love my stormtroopers and Hoth troopers. I take them any chance I get. But
I'm a total sucker for any kind of vintage stormtrooper, in good shape. Whether I need them or not, because I'm like, you know what? The Death Star needs to have a lot. Vader's Star Destroyer, he needs to have some over there.
But I got one that every time I've been seeing it, I've been grabbing it recently. I'll be right back.
I don't know. I'm not really into army building, but I probably army build Ram Man.
If John's doing that, then I'm going to do this. We're running wild. Those are Black Major Cobra Troopers that he did for like pretty inexpensive. So I have a bunch of them invading the flag.
Awesome.
That's probably my newest troop building. Oh, John's coming back. Act casual.
He's back. There we go.
So
we totally behaved while you were gone.
Of course, right?
Right.
So couple things. Hey, so since I was in that cabinet, I got the Weeble Wobble.
Yes,
Billy.
That's awesome. With his
he's just hanging out in there with the aliens and stuff. But I don't know why, but lately, if I see this guy at a thrift store, if I see him at a garage sale, I see him, I just grab. I've got like 10 of these, and I've got one carded. The
Ovion from Battlestar.
The Ovion from
Wow.
Battlestar Galactica.
And you've got the little lace cape for it. I can't ever find those.
Yeah,
That's
only
awesome.
2 of mine have the cape. Yeah, everyone else is naked.
Yep.
One of them has his hand clipped off. Like this little hand broke off. Again, like who bit just the hand off? Like, and that's hard to do on the little arms because you got to bite in there and get past these 2 big arms.
Yeah, you got the big arms like hitting you in the face. Yeah, I love.
And then the other one I've been loving to army build. I've got like 6 of these guys from Robotech.
Ooh.
Oh, these are so cool. I mean, they look like ants almost. They're like,
oh yeah,
yeah,
like an exoskeleton thing going on.
Yeah, and they're G.I. Joe sort of style. They are articulated like that. So Matchbox made them, and Harmony Gold. You can get them both ways. And there is a slight difference in the mold between the Harmony Gold and the Matchbox versions.
Didn't they have like a big command center base for them?
Yeah. The big it was almost like a castle looking thing with like
a
big center.
Center
a big center white tower and 2 little ones up to the side. Yeah.
Very cool.
Nice.
And the Veritech fighter and a couple of like mechs that they could go in.
I need more room.
Really cool stuff. But those are things that and then the Cylons, of course, but they're harder to find, for that line.
Wow. So how many have you got in your army now?
I've only got 3 Cylons. There's like 6 of these guys in my army, and then I've got about 10 of the Ovion guys.
Nice.
Wow.
But I just like I said, if I see, because you sometimes see them for just a couple bucks if they don't really care, they don't know what they got, or whatever. You're just like, I can't leave it here on the table. I got to bring that home with me.
Yeah, I picked one up at the toy mall 3 weeks ago, and I think it was $6 for the Ovion. I'm like, no, you need a home. Come on, babe.
Yep.
But
we don't even have. Yeah, we talk about AI taking over the world, but we don't even have robots that get us beer yet.
We should be in the Jetsons age by now.
I know. Yeah, there needs that little noise.
Rosie, what's for dinner?
Yeah, they went away before they could.
Yeah.
Robbie the robot.
Was there? Yeah. That's right. Didn't Danny DeVito hire the robot as like a? Yeah, I think he had the robot as like a servant or a maid or something. I don't remember what it was, but
I'm Robbie the robot. Hello.
Yeah, some Centurions would be nice. They're up there in that cabinet. Those guys were awesome.
I don't run into very many of those.
No, you don't. You don't bump into them at garage sales or things that much, or like toy fairs and stuff too much. Yeah.
No.
I loved all those clip-on weapons and the different things. That was a brilliant idea.
You've got, Dave. Do you have quite a few?
Yeah, I've got the main 3 characters. I would like to get more of the range. Just pick some of those up.
Yeah. I've got the 3 main characters, and then I've got an extra. I've got the space. Well, the big jet space thing for Ace McCloud. So I've got 2 Ace McClouds with different accessories.
Look at those.
And then one of the other 2 guys. Yeah.
There's a load.
And for him, I need that shoulder missile part. That's right. The only part I need is that swivel shoulder missile thing you got up top there.
Yeah, this guy.
Yeah, that thing. That's the only part I need for that guy.
And then, and Ace McCloud is back there, but
yeah.
These
look how cool they look, and they can go. The parts can go in any of those holes.
Right.
And
So you can change them around however you want to do it. It's so cool.
And also I hadn't realized, but I think this will work. I think if there's like a connecting rod right through the body, so if you like twist or turn this, it will fire.
It'll shoot the missile. Yeah.
I'll give it a go. See if it works or not. Oh, there you go.
Yes.
It does fire.
Yeah. And you can also click that lever on the backpack if you want.
That's right.
Yeah. It's a good thing that's a good thing that landed near where you were, because sometimes when I do that, they go across the room and I have to search for hours. Like, where'd that thing go?
They got some good height.
Yeah, there you go. I tell you what though, it's the Japanese. If you like firing rockets and stuff and missiles, it's the Japanese figures that just go crazy with firing missiles, and they go. They know how to launch a missile in Japan from their figures. They really do. Yeah, awesome.
I am not done army building until I have them all.
That's right.
All your stormtroopers will belong to us. All your stormtroopers.
Tim has a great stormtrooper army.
Do you remember a toy robot which kind of looked trash can shaped with bendy tubular arms with clamp hands? Yeah, I do kind of remember those things, but I can't remember what they were called or what it was called. I do remember. I feel like I remember those. They almost look like accordion type arms. If I remember right.
The trash can. All I can think of is Oscar the Grouch.
Yeah, all I can think of is Dusty Bin, which probably doesn't translate into the US. It was from a game show in the UK. I don't know what it's called now, 3-2-1, or if that was the catchphrase or not. I can't remember the name of the show now. But there was a Dusty Bin character on there.
The Bionoids. He's got the word. That's what these things are called. Bionoids. Yep. Leave it to Tim. Tim always knows the names. Yeah. The Bionoid warrior things. Yeah.
Sell your home and army build
traumatizers.
Power extreme. Yeah, it's difficult. Yeah, to get a complete one. Yeah. Viper missile times with I
actually had a spare Viper missile, and I traded a couple of G.I. Joe classifieds for a vintage Buck Rogers garbage can. Metal garbage can. It was in great condition, and a Viper, and that was the only thing it didn't have was the red missile shooting out the front. And I'm like, I can't believe I actually have a second. So it's fully equipped.
Wow,
I couldn't believe it.
I need the little figures that go in them. I need the figures for the
the little tiny Colonial Viper pilot. Yeah.
And the Cylon. I need the little Cylon guy for my Cylon ship. And every time I see them, they're like $70, $80 just for that little figure. And I'm like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it.
Have you seen the Vipers and the Cylon fighters that Robert Bergeron's making? Oh my
big
god.
Ones, 3D printed one. Yeah, they're amazing.
3/4 scale.
Yeah, no, they're amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got this from Scott here. Ramen Toys is doing a pre-order on the new Centurions line. I'm gonna have to check that out. Yeah, we're gonna have to check that out.
Wow.
Making a note.
Yeah.
That's right. Ted Rogers. He was the host of
RoboForce. I do remember that. Yeah, RoboForce is coming to mind. Yes.
RoboForce. Yeah.
Yeah. And they had a cartoon. It didn't last long. Yeah, it was probably one season or something, right? Yeah. There was a lot of those one and done cartoons like Air Raiders, Star Commanders, even Starcom, which I think Starcom is on either Tubi or Cartoon Blast also. And it's great watching those Starcom cartoons because I'm like, I was like, this is a really, really good. I haven't seen it since I was a kid. And I was like, I watched a month or so ago, and I was like, this is a really, really good cartoon. Like I can't, and it made me want to try and find some of those toys. But again,
a great toy line.
It's hard to find Starcom complete and in good shape because there's lots of little bits that people lost. And They had magnetic feet so they could stick on panels, and
That's right.
if those panels or the magnetic feet are gone, it's like almost useless. So you gotta have them complete, and oh, it's so hard.
Dave, what was your first Lego set?
Ooh, I'm trying to remember that back from childhood. I know I fondly played with the space Lego, the blue and grey space Lego.
They tell me they're making them again. They're going to come back. They said the color scheme, it'll be different vehicles, I think, but that color scheme.
Awesome.
They keep saying it's going to come back.
That's going to sell like crazy. I love that the space Lego. But look at that.
That is.
Oh wow.
My space Lego base. I was hoping you were going to say that.
Oh wow! Look at that.
From when I was a kid. I was probably 10, 11 years old. Yep.
Loly cow.
That is amazing.
Mom and Dad, they just found that photo like a couple months back during COVID lockdown and kind of going through stuff. Yeah. And they were like, you probably want this. And I was like, oh, I remember that.
Where is it? Where are those?
I mean, I have them. You want here?
They're somewhere.
Did you have the there's a blue spaceship. I think it's like a double one with the back doors that open. Did you have that one?
Yeah.
Is that a big Lego section?
Yeah, that's a huge Lego section. So all those parts are over there or in giant bins.
Wow.
Oh.
Actually, here. We're mobile. We're going crazy again.
We're going for a trip. Going for an excursion. Oh my gosh. Wow.
So it's all underwater.
Wow.
That looks incredible.
Look at that boat. That's cool.
Yeah, I use the Lego instructions, what you can pull up online. And just dug through my giant bins of Lego and built it, not necessarily from scratch, but
from the directions you can get online.
Yeah.
That's a great resource.
Yeah, that's awesome. Space Lego, and then my other favorite Lego was the Technics Lego from the day.
Yeah.
I actually have a few up here.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So like this Lego Technics car.
Oh, very cool.
This is so awesome because it actually has a working gearbox.
Yeah, does the wheels turn on that with the steering wheel and everything too?
Yeah, the wheel. Yeah,
right. It's all connected, right? Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's the working gearbox and a diff as well in the back, so the two back wheels can turn at different speeds. I mean, it's amazing for the age.
Yeah.
And then things like I'm going to spend all day tomorrow just putting everything back in the room. Things like this.
Oh, this is awesome.
Motorbike and sidecar. That's a cool one.
Wow.
With a working. Nice. Oh, there you go. Get on camera with a working engine, and then.
And you can tell those are older models. Yeah, those are cool.
Yeah, things like the this little forklift truck.
Oh yeah.
I had the.
So I loved all the. I loved all the Technic stuff.
What's that, Scuba?
It was a Technic bulldozer, I think, that I had. I want to say I had. I've got all the instructions. I ought to just pour through them. I'm sure I can find it. That is awesome. But I just remember because it was that same yellow.
What else is up there? What else? Let's have while we're on the Lego.
Have you guys been out to a store in recent weeks to see the new the underwater sets, the new sets?
No.
They have a explorer, like deep sea explorer ship. And the boat, when you build the boat, it's got to be like 4 or 5 feet long, and it's got all the cranes on it to lower the submarines and the submersibles. And it comes with all these divers and all this stuff. But I'm like, the boat looks freaking awesome. I'm like, I'm looking at the box, and the box is like this big, and I'm going, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And there's like a diving robot thing that's like, you put a little guy in it, and he's got like a dome that goes over him. And it's got these claw arms for like doing stuff underwater.
sold.
It's cool, yeah. There's some cool stuff. We might have to add to your order, Pete, when I get a chance here.
Oh, that is wicked. Yep.
So what do we got? Yeah, Ruby Spears did some great cartoons back in the day. That was they did some really good stuff. I love the Ruby Spears Superman stuff. I really dig that.
Oh, the 80s, but my dad was always pulling stuff out that was just awesome. My dad was an engineer, so that's why I love all the sort of technical bits and pieces. Like the radio control cars, we build all the cars together and all that kind of stuff. So my dad had all sorts of things hiding away in the loft that we just go and play with.
That's such great memories.
Pete, you're mostly a kid of the 80s also, right? We're all kids of the 80s mostly?
Born in 72. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I was 73. Dave, what year were you born? I was 73, he's 72.
And 77.
77? Okay. Renegos. I don't.
No, I'm not familiar with that.
No. Do you know that one, Dave?
Rent's Ghost, yeah. That was a kids program back in the day. Very, very strange.
Mr. Claypool.
Yeah, Mr. Claypool, yeah.
Yeah, there's some pretty cool stuff there. The Castle Grayskull I missed out on that, and it's super expensive now.
Yeah, it shot up. Crazy.
But I was able to make my own out of Lego because Lego had for a brief period, they had a fantasy line with some elves and stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
And when the line ended, they marked a bunch of stuff down, and they had these they made this green evil castle with like a portal and a gateway in it. And the castle came with these spike pieces that looked like teeth. And there was various sizes, and they were green.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, I'm looking at the box, and I'm going...
You're like, wait a minute.
Those are the teeth for Castle Grayskull. I can like rebuild. So I bought like 2 or 3 sets when they marked them down, and I tried building it, and it just kept. I'm horrible with structure, without someone telling me how to build the internal.
Yeah, you need the.
Yeah, but I got the other sets. I started messing with it, and then I was like, plus I don't have the space. Where am I going to put this when I'm done with it? And I've got it all sitting there for a future project, so. But someday I will do my Castle Grayskull. Plus, I was thinking, like, the plans for that one that Mega Constructs did was probably online, and then I can find the Lego bits and use the you know what I mean? Like, because there's very similar, yeah.
Yep, you can totally do it. That's what I did on that pirate ship. Out of some of the things you were like, okay, this was specially made for that particular set, and you're like, wait a minute, I think I can get there in almost the same spatial area, and it's like, yep, it'll work.
Tim's same age as you, Dave.
Yep. Yeah. And analog, yep.
Oh yeah, and analog, yeah.
77 babies. Yep. Just a kid.
Mark's the oldest of our bunch, right? 1970.
He's got the gray hair to prove it, but it's starting to come on strong.
Except for Ben 10. I mean, Ben 10's been going for 10, 12 years now. And but I don't know, would you still we might not consider that new anymore if it's been going for that long. Yeah.
Yeah, a few more years.
So hard to tell because right. Because there's also a new line. It was like Power or something. The guy's got a red suit, and he comes with a cool motorcycle, and he's got like there's like almost like a blue teddy bear looking thing that's one of his sidekicks. But I've been looking at those action figures, going, these are really cool looking action figures, but I don't know what the toy is or the cartoon. I don't know if there's like a show that goes along with it or what. But it was Power or something, but I can't remember off the top of my head now what it was.
I don't know, Dave, but whenever I hear teddy bear, all I can think of is explosive teddy bear. From Bond.
So, guys, we're getting near the end. We got about 10 minutes here. What? I guess we could just wrap it up with what closing thoughts do you have? Like what? So we know, Dave, we know you've put together a list of what you want coming this year.
He has a
What's the next thing on that list that you think you might go after?
I have a few things. So it's funny actually, because I put that list together in January, and against each of the items, I put a rating of how difficult I thought it was going to be to find. And I've been wildly wrong on all those ratings. So things that I thought were going to be easy have turned out to be pretty difficult, like the Karate Kid figures. But there are a few others that I've managed to find. So I think that I'm hoping to get the LJN Indiana Jones figures.
Wow!
So
okay.
that's what I'm hoping to get.
You've got most of the play sets, right?
For the Kenner Raiders.
Yeah.
I've got most of that. I'm looking for the 12-inch Indiana Jones figure.
Mm-hmm.
I can't find that. I thought that would be fairly easy, but I just can't find it. Not for a decent price anyway. And there's also a few other Action Man items that I'd like to get. So there's a few more outfits that I want to add to the collection. So yeah, but also the one thing I really want to get is a Millennium Falcon.
Oh yeah,
I want to get a box Millennium Falcon, but I'm being a bit fussy with that, and I'm sort of being a bit hesitant to pull the trigger on one, because I feel like it might ruin the magic actually having one in my hands, because I never actually had one as a kid.
Really?
So
yeah. Okay.
I never actually had one as a kid. My friend had one. I loved playing with it. But yeah, never had one in the collection. I would love to add it, but it's like, oh, if I pull the trigger, I might just ruin the magic.
It is all that in a bag of chips. It really is.
Yeah. Better
than
sliced bread.
Yeah, it's a shit. It's a play set. It's everything in one.
How about you, Scuba? Is there something you're going for in the next few months?
If you had asked me just a few short weeks ago, I would have said I really want the Defiant. Find a Defiant, and like I said, Jeff Barker has made that dream rapidly a reality. So
wow, that's going to be cool to see.
It's a lot of those.
Where's it going to go?
You sound like my wife. Don't worry, I'll find a spot. I will. It needs a little bit of work, but it's got payload. It's got see, now I'm going
Did
blank.
That come with another version of Ace also? The pilot, like?
No, it was payload, the astronaut, and then hardtop, the crawler driver. Yep, and he's got both those figures.
But I think during that time they made an Ace that was in a spacesuit kind of thing, didn't they? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah,
I picked him up on Macari for pretty inexpensive. Yeah, all of a sudden, like the whole Space Force, that as a young adult graduated, in college, and you saw those and you were like, that's silly.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, now I'm like,
yeah, I want those. Yeah, me too.
Those. I saw like this big robot Destro,
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Head with the helmet, and I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
And they're not very expensive, so I look forward to kind of displaying those with the Defiant. But and it's got just a little bit of work to do, so I've got a some sweat equity in it, which is going to be fun. But he has done a awesome job already restoring it, and I always see those listings that are like 99% complete, and you're like, no, that's why are you even trying to put a percentage on it? His really is that complete.
Wow.
Yeah, so. After that gets here, I don't know. I think I'm probably in a toy timeout, and except for small stuff.
Well, Left Coast says no grown man should not have a vintage Falcon, so you got to get it. You got to get it.
Well, and Dave, I'm just going to add that to my mental list of things I'm looking for you. So, if I come across that, because a friend of mine down south that I got the flag from, he got a boxed Millennium Falcon just a couple, that was not even a month ago. It had this horrible brown tape on it where like somebody did extra tape on it, and he has spent hours with a blow dryer on low, and he's gotten it off of there, and it looks, the boxes are glorious.
That is a feat to get that stuff off.
Yeah, he goes, you don't even want to know how many hours, and I'm like, no, I can tell.
Yeah, he's Wolfie understands. He's like, it would feel weird if you did get it. Yeah, when there's sometimes that one thing just feels like, okay, I got it. Now what?
Right? Yeah. I mean, part of the chase and I got my Imperial shuttle. It wasn't complete. I picked up the shell of it for $25. And it was missing the side hatch and the pistol grip. That at least prolonged that feel. As you slowly found reasonable priced parts for it. But yeah, it's kind of like, okay, when the Defiant is here and I'm looking at it and just like, yep, there it is. There it is. It's the size of a chair.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to get more sectars. That's on my list. But mine are small. Mine are kind of small things. I want sectars figures. I want that tarantula guy.
The glove.
Yeah, they're gloves, because I got the dragonfly just a few weeks back with the rider with the prints there, and it's amazing. And we had a few of those when we were kids, but we never had the dragonfly or the spider, so we just had a couple of the figures. And I've been wanting them ever since we were kids, and I finally pulled the trigger on one of those dragonflies. The wings are all there. It looks beautiful.
Cool. Awesome.
And then I want to get. I'm still fleshing out the Thundercats. I've got all the bad guys. I just got the snowman of Hook Mountain. And he's cool with his little flicker arm thing. He's got a trigger in the back, so he can stab you with a spear. Yeah. And because what happened was I've had Lion-O and Mum-Ra, the beefy Mum-Ra, in my collection forever, and those have been my example of Thundercats, And then I have like the Quicksilver and Monstar from the Silverhawks, and that was like my example of Silverhawks. And I was content. I was like, oh, we're just going to have that. That's know. But you have an example of each of these lines you loved, but not a whole set. But I ran across 4 of the villains for Thundercats from a lady. And she was really nice and gave me a really good deal on buying them all. They're complete with all their weapons. But once you've got them, I was like, well, now it was all the villains except for Slithe. And I was like, so I had to go on eBay and buy Slithe, because you can't have all the villains without the Slithe guys.
Just bite the bullet and do it.
But then I'm like, so now I've got all the bad guys, and I'm like going, so now I should go out and get Panthro and Chitara, and to have all the good guys, because you can't have just Lion-O against like 6 bad guys. It doesn't make any sense,
There you go, the collector's dilemma right there.
Right? Yeah. And then that's going to get me into going for more Silverhawk stuff, because to me those are hand in hand, And then I want to get into Visionaries. I really, really do. But every time I see them, they're $50, $60 each figure, and it's hard to pull a trigger. Because then when you think about it, you're like, okay, but if I want to get all it's going to be like $700. Wow, no! You're like,
I was very fortunate with the Visionaries. About 5 years ago, there was a stall selling all 8 cards, immaculate condition. He'd just been over to the US, been to some trade fair over there, come back to the UK. His first show, he had them on display, all 8. And I walked past, and they were a good price as well. It was about 5 years ago. I walked past about 10 times. And I thought, am I going to pull the trigger? And I went and pulled the trigger. So I just bought all 8 cards in one go.
Wow.
Nice.
For a really good price. And I've just kept them in. I don't even have them on display. I've just kept them in the cupboard, safe. And they come out every now and then just to have a look at. But now the prices of them now have just shot up.
Way up.
Yeah. yeah, I in the last 5 years, because I've only really been seriously collecting this stuff for probably 7 years, 8 years at the most. So, compared to a lot of people around in this community, fairly young collector in this world, to be honest. And I've noticed in the last 5 years, in the UK at least, the prices of 80s stuff has just shot up.
Oh.
And it's also much harder to find. I used to walk around the toy fairs in the UK and there'd be 80s stuff just lying around all over the place. Now, can't find it. It's really hard to find.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine that. It's fine on the flag.
Oh, we got to do it. It's going to happen. It'll take like a whole day to clear everything off, set it up.
And then the only other thing is I got to do a video on this one. I got the Star Wars base here.
Oh, cool.
And, the whole thing opens up like this whole back like opens up to this big thing, and it's got like and it's got all the weapons on it. It's got the scorpion little rider thing that comes off, and
yeah, that's always missing.
Yeah. But inside it's missing the crane. There's a little crane, like a mechanical crane that would be like to repair stuff with. It's missing that, and it's missing these guns that go on these little flaps here. But so there's three parts I need for this. And you got Hot Shot. Oh my gosh.
I had Hot Shot as a kid. I think it was, one of just a couple that I had, and I saw him this weekend.
He's so hard to find. I've been looking, and I got the 3 bad guys on card, but I can't find the good guys. I could find the brown one. I could find the brown one with the trill, but I can't find. I found an arm for Hot Shot, but that's it. Just an arm.
He's cool.
Not on eBay. Believe it or not, he's not on eBay. It's so hard.
He was in a nice glass case in Cincinnati at the toy department. Yep.
Wow.
And I literally just went, and I was like, back it up.
Beep, 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 beep.
And I just kept looking at him.
I didn't even know of that line until John mentioned it the other week. Didn't even know about it. Looks awesome.
Yeah, one of those crazy cool.
Yeah, I'll have to. That'll be my next video. I'll have to do that base and.
Oh, definitely.
Show off I got one of the bad guys open that I got an extra one of.
I've seen the base one time, and it had nothing with it.
And I got the box. Like that's why I grabbed it. The guy he did it for like $90 shipped.
Serious?
That with the box.
Holy cow.
Off Mercari. It was off Mercari. There's some great deals on that Mercari thing. I mean, but you gotta go. You see the deal, you gotta buy it right then because it'll go. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Paul. And landing the Defiant.
Thanks, Tez.
Thank you, Tez.
Definitely.
Got to remember. Yep, it's the name of an actual store. And House of Plastic.
Yep,
in Cincy. If you haven't been, I highly recommend it. Just a great Saturday.
So before we go, I really have to apologize for some of the people who've come before us because I keep forgetting to do this near the end, But Dave, Scuba, tell everybody where they can find you, where they can follow you. If you've got a channel, tell them about your channel, tell them about your videos. Anything you want to plug it.
Go ahead, Dave. You're the expert.
Okay, well, you can find me on YouTube. My channel is Vintage Toy Rush, as it says there on the screen. Based on the name, I do focus on vintage toys. I only had the channel for about a year, and I feature all sorts of random stuff. You never know what's going to come up on a Friday morning. That's when I usually release a video. And you'll see that I'm on Twitter and Instagram as well. Not that I use Instagram as much, but you'll find me there under Vintage Toy Rush as well.
And he has some really good videos.
Yeah.
I love his collection's fantastic.
Yeah. Oh, that latest Ewok ID video. I'm like, are you inside my head? Like you're reading my thoughts. Like, because I'm like, I suck at Ewok names.
That was fun to put together. I like that one.
That was great. I mean, I was literally pausing it, and then I would go do something else, and then be like, "Name that Ewok, Pete." And I'm like, "Lumac." I'm like, "Come on, get it together, man."
Awesome.
Collect them all, let them breathe. And Tim has a good point. Scuba Pete is the professional YouTube Toy Channel Patreon supporter.
He absolutely
He
is.
helps out. He's on every
I'm
channel.
everywhere, yet nowhere.
Yeah.
I am on Instagram and Twitter. I think Instagram Scuba Pete V and Twitter's Scuba Pete 2, I think is what my handle is. Anyway, find me there if you wish. But
And
yeah,
you'll see him in the chat on most. I mean, because you follow Michael Mercy, you follow
Retro Blasting,
Retro Analog. I mean, everybody. You're in everybody's chats, and you're always like he says. You also support through Patreon so many different channels and creators that are out there helping to put this stuff together. So
it's just an absolute blast. I consider everybody. I mean, you see the chat names scroll by, and you're like, everybody's a friend.
Yeah,
you know? To others that if you haven't been a guest on a show, you don't be afraid, because literally the chat is nothing but a bunch of pals.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. And it's always fun when you see someone new also that you haven't met yet.
Yeah.
And you almost instantly have a connection because you know they love toys and you love toys.
Yep.
And you're like, oh, cool. Hey, how you doing? You know, good to meet you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so great. I figured out
yeah, right? Yeah.
YouTube I don't have time for that. I'm on everybody else's YouTube channels.
Yeah, I like your approach, actually, Scuba. I think that's a sensible approach.
Be on everybody else's channel, yeah.
Just try to get everybody subs.
Yeah, there you go. That guy had Scuba on. Let's all sub to him. Scuba, Dave, it's been a fantastic time having you guys on the show. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I just think this chat was great. We went through so much vintage chat today and got to see some great things from both your collections. And I just can't thank you guys enough. This was so cool.
Thanks for having us.
And from what we can see in the chat, everyone in the chat really enjoyed this one. So, yeah, it's been really cool.
Well, thanks for having us on, John.
Yeah,
it's been a
great
pleasure.
Time. And there's usual Mike sneaking in right at the end.
Oh yeah, there he is. Good morning. Good morning, usual Mike. How you doing? Scott saying thanks. You're all my Patreons. All right, guys. I think that's going to wrap it up. Thanks a lot for everybody in the chat for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Ron.
May the force be with you, and may you live long and prosper. Yo-Joe. Thundercats, ho! We're out of here. Dun, 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 dun.